what can be so difficult from how other people use the equipment to how we use the equipment that it takes like a total wholesale rearrangement of shit?
That is a mystery of broadcasting of all types. You could like on all the years that I did morning shows, okay? We would come in and the studio would be rearranged, stuff wouldn't be where it was. Interns, the thing that used to irritate me the most is because I was the morning show and I was responsible for the news, is I'd go to the news computer and they would have uploaded all these freaky games. Now this is back in the early 2000s that would slow down the news feed, and then I wouldn't be able to get the news for the morning show. And it was like,
so it's like, you just like, once again, shit happened somewhere. There we go. We got the news.
And on to the music. So,
well, that's what I feel like the news is anyway.
Oh my God. Except for, yeah. I mean, that's, so a bunch of shit happened. That's true. So I'm Kelly Guest and that's Colleen Bertino, and Miss Megan hasn't said a word.
Yeah.
I've just been biding my time for the right moment.
No news puns.
No. Well, in other news, Megan has, what color is your hair now?
It's turned out to be quite a few shades of purple. I was going for one, but
well, that's
stuff happens.
You got dimension.
Yes.
Do we like it?
I have lots of depth, at least on my head. Maybe not in it, on it.
Oh my God. So it's the Great Northern Sex Cast, and we're going to make every effort this week to make sure that the right show uploads. Okay.
Yeah, but
that was. You should have seen me.
Well,
guys.
we got like 51 listens on the second one, so obviously Perry's. People love the Perry, so that was pretty cool, and it's a lot of fun. Well, he's a nice guy, so what's not to love?
Well, he's hilarious, and we have really. I was thinking about this last night. We have really built up some great friends of the show. I mean, we know some characters just from doing this. Isn't that fun?
And that's when one of the things. I mean, it's fun to blather because, well, hell, Megan knows I like to talk. That's not a problem. But I love peoples. And, I'm rather insulated, same job since 1989, working with my family and stuff like that. So, and it's just lovely meeting the new folks.
Yeah.
It's everyone. It's just been wonderful.
Yeah. And it's fun because they've all got some sort of a connection to not just the Great Northern Sex Cast and the mission of the show, but to the rest of the work that you do, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's just a nice way to know that, okay, like I said, sometimes you get really insulated, and just knowing that there's other people out there that, think the same way and are out there forging, their path it's a blast.
Well, speaking of that, I think I CC'd you guys on emails from the Minnesota AIDS Project. They're going to be coming in more than once, it looks like, because they can talk on a lot of projects. So thanks for the hookup there. Explain to everybody what you guys are doing with the Minnesota AIDS Project at Crypticon.
Sure. Yeah. Well, so we do a prize wheel every year where we give out free adult goodies. But this year we decided that we wanted to do a little something more with it.
We're going to do some good.
Some good.
I mean, we have folks lined up at Pride and lined up a lot of other places, and our vendors have been spectacular with giving the most amazing stuff to give away for free. And it occurs to us, well, let's do some good. And Megan's, and I'm like, she came up with this and said, yes. yes. So for a nominal fee of $1.
Yep. Buck a spin.
You get to spin and win, hopefully.
Yeah, well, everyone's a winner, which is nice. And I know we actually have some like Wicked already sent, like there's Suicide Squad and Rocky Horror Picture Show adult parodies to give away. So we're going to have movies, toys, lubes from all the major companies. And so all the money that we raise through the prize wheel, we are actually going to be donating to the Minnesota AIDS Project. Because Colleen really wanted to stay local, there's so many charities within Minnesota that are doing such great work. So we wanted to kind of keep it local. And, I actually approached them and they were so great. They have a very, very similar kind of open and sex positive attitude. It was really nice to find people who deal with in some ways some of the negative sides of sex. They see that, but they don't let it bias their thinking to know that it's still great with consenting adults. Everyone's legal, everyone's plays safe. So yes, we're going to raise money for them, and we're really excited. And they actually sent over a bunch of free condoms as well. So anyone going to Crypticon, Fantasy Griff's vendor room is where you get the free condoms. So if you don't want any Crypticon babies, I think there's been a few that have
there's a lot of material there.
Crypticon viruses, Crypticon anything,
Right.
No, yeah, it can be fun all night, all evening long.
Yeah, and the nice thing, I think that since it is, we'll probably let people like spin again and that kind of stuff since they're actually paying some money, because we'll take all the money they'll give us to go to a good cause. So, and it seems, so they started in like 1983. They've been around a really long time, and they do a lot of work with like education and outreach and just support services within the community. So we're really excited to be working with the Minnesota AIDS Project.
Oh yeah, and then when you made the introduction, and like I said, we're going to have some of their instructors come in. Colleen, your mouth breathing again today.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm
You're going,
I woke up a little clogged, so now that confirms it. I'm
can hear it.
I'm like, am I catching some? Yeah, that confirms it. If you guys can hear me breathing,
it's got a soundtrack now. It's got its own soundtrack.
We could just remix it, and that's our intro.
I'll just go off to the side here a little bit.
Oh, you're so funny. Okay, no, but so they've got people though that are like serious educators on all these different topics that we talk about all the time.
It's a perfect fit.
I know. So we're going to rotate those guys through, and we'll look forward to welcoming them in the coming weeks. Just really quick, I always loved, because I never know what I'm going to get from Colleen when I ask her, how's the newsletter?
I actually asked this morning. I just had not to be completely, uneducated about what the hell's going on in my own business. We got a couple different things that we're on. The Halloween stuff is in the stores. That's 30% off on accessories, selected stuff, not everything. There's some costumes in the store, but we don't do that much in costumes anymore. I mean, honestly, everyone knows the pop-up stores has just killed the sexy. I mean, there's like huge articles in my industry about how nobody does costumes anymore. It's not just us. So we've got 30% off accessories. We still have the Synergy and Wicked going on. Next month is going to be Intimate Earth again. And one of the things is I specifically asked, I said, I'm going to go out there and chat with folks. And what should I talk to them about? They said, what do we have that's a really amazing product that's not selling like we think it could be? So I'm just going to be blatant. I'm asking. There's a company called Oxballs, and it's sort of a there's like penis, it's like cock rings and ball sheaths and a whole bunch of things. The stuff's made here in the USA, and so it tends to be just a couple of bucks more expensive than I think people are used to from stuff that might be made other places. And I mean, the guy that owns it is the most amazing guy. I've had dinner with him.
That great big burly dude that I saw?
Yes.
Oh my God. He looks like somebody who would have ox balls.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, his nickname is Ox, so that has something to do with it. And it's an amazing company. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go out and I'm going to tell people about it.
That's great.
So they're at the locations. It's Oxballs. They're online. Oh, and the Halloween stuff is the 30% stuff is online too. Sarah got to that. A lot of times, if something's it's short amount of time, we don't have time getting it online. But this time it is. Okay. So I'm like, yay.
Okay. So the first story that we have on our newscast today is the headline is Decker Dick. And really, this is a football story. Did you guys watch the Vikings, the first regular season home game in US Bank Stadium? Okay.
No, I know that it's a big game for folks, but the idea of and I know that someone can like sacrifice their knee or their hip or
Adrian
something.
Peterson did.
Yeah. But sacrificing your brains?
Yeah.
It doesn't make it interesting to me anymore. It just doesn't. It's too heartbreaking. Yeah, kind of killed it for me.
I was busy at the big wrestling show that was in town instead.
I see. Well, I do have a small funny. So I was at my sister's on her deck and with one of her grown sons and his wife and grandkids, and we were all out doing this shish kebab thing, and it was getting close to game time, and this sonic freaking boom goes off. And I mean, I thought it was a gunshot, and I'm like, how does this happen in Hastings, right? And it was a transformer literally right across. We saw it blow, and we saw the smoke.
Oh, yeah. It makes for those of you who have heard it, once you know what it is, you're like, holy shit.
I mean, it sounds like, something artillery related. Well, it's like 45 minutes before the Vikings game. and the power goes out, right?
Oh, that's not going to make people happy.
Oh my God. So long story short, we did see the XL Energy truck come up and whatever. And we see him. It was hilarious, you guys. He would zip around this corner, but he was going in like a block and a half perimeter, opening up big, huge things and poking poles in it and doing all this weird stuff. And we're like, what is he doing? And why doesn't he stay in one place? But he was on it and it was zipping around. I mean, just zipping.
He's probably looking for the critter that chewed the wires that blew the transformer.
Okay.
Because I've had that happen in my neighborhood. We hear boom, the power goes out, and especially on good weather days. And then eventually the XL truck shows up, and it's usually a single guy gets out with a big ass pole and walks around and looks at every connection.
Yeah.
And then finally has to find the dead critter, because that's pretty much what it is.
Okay, that explains a lot. Well, what was so funny is the box that finally had the magic whatever that made the lights come back on, because we were sitting outside, we could see him. I mean, he was real actually close to where we were. The box was right next to my sister's house, and he pokes the thing with the pole, the lights go on, and we hear one guy go, "Thank you." And then like you hear all these other, and we did it too. Everybody's going, "Thank you." And it was like really, like everybody was on their lawns staring at this guy like, the game starts in 10 minutes. It was so, and he's like, "You're welcome." I mean, it was so, but I heard when we all said it, and then we just heard people yelling for blocks. It was so, that was a funny scene. So the story that after my goofy little true story from what happened to me, Eric Decker, he was Jets and the Buffalo Bills game. His wife is Jessie James Decker, the singer. Anyone?
Oh, sure. I heard her name and I'm like, the porn star? Oh, no.
No.
There's a pop star. Well, that's similar name to the porn star.
No, I have no idea. No.
I bet they're both just as annoying.
Well, and she's in the age crowd that hangs out in Snapchat. And her husband caught a 5-yard touchdown pass in the second quarter. And she puts out touchdown Big Dick Decker. And then the whole internet starts coming in, and all these tweets that came up after that. We've got the article, and you can read them. And everybody's like, "Oh, how do you like his big balls?" But she just went there, and she engaged with the people, her followers on there.
Well, I can see that because it's sort of. I mean, yes, it's personal, but they are in the public eye. There was nothing. I'm assuming there was probably some negative, but most of it was probably entertaining. She went through there, and she's now probably, I didn't know who she was. I might recognize her, going through there. But if she's of that age, there's not. It's just out there. Your life is just out there.
Yeah. Well, and it's not stupid if she's got a pop career to whatever extent that it exists, for her to be trying to tap the NFL fans to get her own profile up.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And, and she gets to, stroke a little ego. I mean, really.
Or stroke a big ego, I guess.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's in the, everyone else is like, "Hey, big dick." I mean, there are very few guys that are not going to love the fact.
I don't think he's going to be
offended by this concept.
Speaking of offended, I saw this and I thought it might become a funny story, and much to my chagrin, it was not really. The potty mouth teacher in Canada, she got suspended for a month without pay. And, the first one, she said allegedly to a student, "I mean, why don't you lick me where I fart?" Who says that? To anyone. Ew.
12-year-old. She's been hanging out with her students too long.
Yeah,
for
that
one.
sounds that sounds like she's a burned out.
Well, she's also slapped a male student on the head and told him to grow some balls. But then they did an investigation. She accidentally hit a male student in his groin, trying to stop two students who were swinging binders at each other. Okay, fine. So that's just on her little record. But I mean, she was calling all sorts of names to people, using really and saying, "Oh, so you like it from behind?" I'm sorry, can't say that to kids.
No. I can't imagine where in any place you should think that this is remotely appropriate.
No, you're not teaching sexual innuendo 101.
No. And I was hoping to see.
So what grade was it? Do you know?
It's looks like elementary.
Oh my God.
Geez.
I mean, I've seen some pretty decent Reddit compiled list of things that professors have said to college students, when the students thinks they're going to insult them, and then the teacher comes back and just sings them really good. But elementary kids.
No, I beg your pardon, secondary school. But in Canada, that can mean something totally different. That could be as young as junior high.
Yeah.
So, or,
Yeah, even, no. I mean, I'm not even sure it's appropriate. Obviously, it's not appropriate anywhere, but certainly not in the under 18 crowd, for God's sake.
And, I thought the only way that this could have been funny was, some burned out teacher that comes up with the ultimate comeback that uses a swear word. I'd be all down with that.
And then just walks out.
Yeah.
That's it. And, it should be like the school assembly or something where she tells everyone, you guys can all just kiss my ass, and then just walks out.
Right.
But yeah, an ongoing, I don't think she's going to be working as a teacher.
No, I don't think she should be. All right. So I have, didn't I put down chicken lips on the outline, I think?
It's on there. I'm trying to.
Chicken lips. So, that's been an ongoing controversy. Do chickens have lips? I mean, I've pondered this with friends. How about you?
We've pondered the color of chickens' ears and their eggs, but not lips.
Okay. Well, whether or not they exist. So the CDC got involved in this. They released a study and they did the study because of the increased popularity of backyard poultry flocks.
I'm walking home the other day, and I'm like in my neighborhood, and we stop and we look over, and there are chickens just hanging out in the side yard over there in south of Minneapolis, and I'm like, hello, chickens. But it was just like, chickens. I mean,
yeah, they're everywhere now.
Okay, so this is timely, and
chickens.
You obviously have experienced it.
Yes.
So the CDC said, look, we have a problem because there's been a huge uptick in salmonella outbreaks associated with this because people are kissing their chickens. I am not kidding you. No, listen to this, you guys. Listen to this. So they did a survey of the people that have become afflicted that have these backyard poultry flocks. Mm-hmm. And of the respondents, the afflicted, 49% reported cuddling with baby poultry.
Well,
right. Okay. Yeah.
How can you not do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. 46% reported letting them in their living rooms, kitchens, bedrooms, and bathrooms.
No, the chickens, maybe the kitchen, but it's not going anywhere else.
Right. And it might not be going into the kitchen willingly either.
Yeah.
Parts of them could come into the kitchen.
There will be, there'll be, no, there will be no chickens running around my house.
They're dirty.
And 13% reported kissing baby poultry.
I get that.
Oh,
I
okay.
get it. Especially when you say baby, like cute
the
little fluffy orange
fuzzy thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you're going to get salmonella, so don't.
No.
As tempting as it may be.
I was thinking maybe just the full size hen out there, and you're out. You got like in your. But how do you not kiss a baby? I guess you can't, but I'd kiss a baby chicken.
I know.
Okay, I'm. Yeah. I take it back.
You're at risk.
I'm at risk. I would kiss a baby chicken.
1993, Fallbrook, California, first house I ever owned. My boyfriend and I had 2 acres in northern San Diego County, and I went to the feed store to get dog food because that's where I bought it, the big bags of dog food. Well, they had baby chickens and ducks, and I'm like, I want chickens. I want some eggs, and those baby ducks, just got to have those. So I buy, 6 chickens, 6 ducks, a baby pool, the duck and chicken. I come home with a cart and it's cheaping. Mike's like, what's cheaping in the cart? I'm like, well, in the box. So the chickens, this is funny shit. He was an architect, is an architect. He builds the coolest fucking chicken coop you would ever see.
Where did you, you can't immediately build a chicken coop. Where did you keep them in the meantime?
We had a closed-in porch area that was screened. Yep, outside.
I was imagining like in your bathtub.
He did it like in a day. No, he did it like in a day. But the chickens, they would go in there occasionally, but they really like to roam. Free-range chickens, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, long story short with the chickens, they lasted about 6 months, and the last one lasted about 3 months longer than the previous 5 because the red-tailed hawks were picking them off from the eucalyptus tree. So we had like every day we had like the OSHA calendar.
Yeah.
It was like how many more days is a chicken, because we couldn't get them to go live in the coop. But the ducks, they liked their pool, and a couple of them flew away and migrated or whatever. But the 3 or 4 that remained, they would come in at night onto the porch, which our bedroom backed up to, and they would peck at the sliding glass door, which was right by our bed. Worse than that, if we were having sex, well, let me rephrase that. When we had sex, You could always just feel something, and you'd look over and you'd see multiple beady eyeballs just staring. Now imagine cute little duck faces looking. I'm sorry, as cute as they are, it's like.
Yeah, my cat is a cock blocker. Oh my God,
is
that
he?
happened the other day where we're going in, and I look over and he's laying across on the chaise, and the look of like anger and disgust on his face. And I just lose it, and I start laughing, and I'm like, I can't. And my boyfriend's like, fuck you, kitty.
Yeah. No.
Cock blocker.
Yeah, cats out of bed. No, out. That's it. I mean,
safer.
The kittens I have now. I mean, the one likes to jump up and bring you the stuffed mousies, and the other one likes to attack feet. None of this. No. The little suckers not in the bedroom. That's it. No,
I gotta say,
no, that would be bad. And they have their front claws, and so I do not need them.
Bare butts. Cat claws.
No.
Yep. It's funny. My friend came over the one she helped with my hair, and she was looking under my chaise, like looking around for my cat, and she goes, "Oh, is that a little black furry paw there?" And it was like, "Oh shit, no, I'm gonna push that back. That's like the fancy fur whip that I got from the store." I'm like, "No, that's not my cat. We'll just push that back further under the bed." He likes to nestle amongst my boxes of like leftovers from sex toy seminars.
Oh God. That's Pet the Putty. No, not that one.
No, want to touch? No, you probably don't want to.
Oh my God. That's awesome. So, the Brits, on one hand can seem so freaking stuffy, and uptight and everything else. But then on another hand, they're completely nuts. Like, first of all, they use the word plinth. Have you ever heard the word plinth before? Do you know what it is?
No.
Isn't it a large stone thingy?
Well, it's like a pedestal thing.
Okay.
That you would set something on. Okay, because
I need a plinth. I have a statue that needs to be up higher.
It needs to be plinth.
I need a plinth. Maybe now I know what to Google. Okay.
Plinth. So this year's World Black Pudding Throwing Championship just took place on Sunday.
I just like the idea that people they'll roll cheeses down hills and do all sorts of shit. Now they're going to throw sausage.
This occurred in Ramsbottom. I know, right? Why not pile on while I've got her laughing? I'm just going to keep making it worse. And for those of you who don't know what black pudding is, it's basically sausage.
Blood sausage. Yeah, that's what it's like, yeah.
And they have these, and they weigh, like they're meticulously made to be, so the contest is fair. So they're the same weight, and you have to throw them. You have to knock off. Actually, you have to knock them off of the plinth. That's what it is. And I'm not clear what they use to throw, but basically they're throwing sausages. You guys, is at the end of the day. And so this whole story, and we can put it up there. And this practice dates back to the 15th century for the Brits. I am not kidding.
Before TV, it made a little more sense,
right? So
there are very few foods that I dislike that are from Western civilizations. I have a difficult time, I admit, with things like tendon and other stuff like that, and like things that are a little more chewy or gelatinous. But I like blood sausage, and I eat liver, and I've had roasted heart and all that sort of stuff. So to me, to waste a perfectly good blood sausage, I'm sad. I want to save the sausage.
Yeah, that does seem like a waste of good sausage.
And I'm just going to leave you with this. My opinion on this whole thing: I think sausage should be hidden and not thrown. That's what I think. But no, I mean, the story's funny, and we've got Megan. I got you all hooked up with all the links, so you guys can see the pictures are hysterical, I might add. So my boyfriend has a really interesting group of guy friends, and they're in their upper 50s and lower 60s, and they still act like they're 12. And I'm really glad they go on these guy weekends for golf and whatever, and act like idiots, and like the stories are fantastic, right? And
a lot of, hey, watch this.
Yes, it's like Jackass, the geriatric version. Okay, I mean that's what they do.
I certainly hope
and they're not getting paid,
right?
I certainly hope there's a lot of Advil, ice, and booze.
But they amuse themselves, and that's what counts,
yes.
Right? So this group, I hope he never goes down this path. This is a group of Russians that went out to, for a guys' weekend camping, right? And the victim's name in the story is Alexander K. to protect his full identity, as if we could pronounce it or respell it anyway.
Wait, no.
But I digress. So this group of guys goes out, men-only party, lots of vodka, dirty jokes, typical guy crap. And then this raccoon shows up. And it was like, oh, it was cute and black and white and fluffy and had huge green eyes and a gorgeous tail. Okay, right then and there, when somebody starts going, wow, what a gorgeous tail you have, to a wild animal, it can only go bad from the downhill.
This is not starting well.
So one of them decided that he was going to have sex with the raccoon.
As you do.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. So he, this could be a warning from God on bestiality, drops trow, gets down on his knees in front of the animal, and the raccoon, whether it had penis, adversity or whatever, turned around and attacked the man's penis, ripping off about half of it.
Oh, yes. That's And my guess is they were probably pretty far away from any medical facility. So
they got him to one, but they couldn't do anything. And he went to the Moscow-based Institute of Urology. And to hear doctors say the following, quote, "We were shocked with what we saw. How can anyone ever think of doing anything like that? He was lucky that the beast was healthy. We examined the body of the raccoon and did not find rabies." Can you imagine getting rabies in your dick?
Oh, God.
I mean, just let that one sit in your head for a minute.
It's already foaming at the mouth.
Oh, my God. Oh, the poor, I almost feel sorry for the guy because this was completely and utterly booze induced. And at least the only person that was injured was him, because a lot of times when people do something this stupid, other people get injured. It's going, oh my God. But this, they need
sympathies for Stumpy here.
They need to have, I think that at one point, if you know that you need like handlers. There could be a whole industry of just handlers. Mm-hmm. Just someone, they sit back and just, at one point they go, no.
Yep.
No.
You have that now if you're like, I don't know, you get a group of people and you can drop a bunch of acid, something, you're all tripping balls. You need the one person who is sober to say, no, actually, you can't fly.
Yeah.
Let's come down. There
really needs to be, some sort of, there could be a whole industry.
Voice of reason.
The voice of,
rent them out.
Well, it could be kind of like renting a personal assistant, only like a personal, chaperone's too stuffy of a word, but you know what I mean?
I mean, what voice of reason do you need to say, hey, don't fuck animals?
Apparently, it was necessary.
And there's no way there was no way in hell because everybody else was probably egging them on.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm pretty sure that if at least one person there had said, "Are you fucking nuts?" However you say that in Russian.
Right.
Are you fucking nuts?
Me. I mean, they would have, all they needed was one person, but no one, but if you hire someone to be that one person, that was it. At least there could be I'm not saying it will stop everything, but there might be a moment where it stops a big chunk of it.
Well,
where someone just says no.
Hotels and resorts could require that groups of men, numbering two or more, any
party
be
groups.
accompanied by an actual adult.
No. I've seen women be just as moronic, so I'm not gonna say that.
I've never seen a woman try to fuck a raccoon.
I've never seen that, but I have seen some pretty asinine comments like, "Let's go into the town square where the soldiers are," and I was the voice of reason, and I went, "No." And I bought him another drink at the bar we were at. And I knew by the time we got to this, when I was an exchange student in Spain. And I decided, and I said, okay, we'll go this time. Because I was sober enough to realize that by the time we got there, the soldiers would be gone. Because you do not take really, really drunk teenage girls and shove them in with a bunch of drunk shoulders. You just don't. Soldiers, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So the voice of, I have to admit, I tend to be that. I could probably make a fortune. I tend to be the voice of reason.
I tend to, too, which is a little scary.
Fuck no, are you serious?
If I'm the reasonable one.
Oh my God.
There was one day eons and eons ago when I used to perform out at the Renaissance Festival where one of our friends pulled the two of us aside and said, you guys need to tone it down a bit. And we looked at the person that was telling us this and we're like, holy shit, if this person is telling us we have to tone it down, oh my God, how loud are we? But you just look sometimes at the person who's telling you, you're like, oh, okay. And it made it was a lot more, if any, as soon as he said it, we're like, okay, that's fine. We're done. That was it. If someone else said, we probably went, no. This one guy said, we're like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm the prude who I had a friend's bachelorette party and I was the one who was like, no, let's not go drunkenly visit your ex-boyfriend at your bachelorette party.
Oh,
that kind of stuff. I'm shockingly responsible.
Yeah. So if someone cannot identify themselves as the responsible person, there needs to be a business where you hire someone to be that person.
Right. That's $1 million idea right there.
Oh my God. First of things, don't fuck the raccoon. Oh my God.
You may be called upon to make some tough calls, such as just explaining why not to fuck a raccoon. Oh my God. Can you imagine what the application would be?
I do feel bad. I do feel bad for the animal because they go through there because, that's not consenting.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously he didn't
got himself killed.
Okay. There you get. It's just so shocking because I would never even I wouldn't mess with a raccoon. Mm-hmm. They're kind of crazy and they're dangerous. So I wouldn't even. I'd be scared trying to chase one out of a garbage can, let alone put your dick in it.
How drunk do you have to be to think that the raccoon's going to hold still for that?
Right. They're crazy and wild.
First of all, the raccoon is cute because,
he was asking for it with that gorgeous tail.
Yeah, that was
if he didn't want to have sex, he wouldn't have had that gorgeous tail.
Provocatively dressed.
In the woods.
Provocatively dressed.
Yes, that's it. There needs to be some sort of dress code now for raccoons.
Mm-hmm. God. Oh, let's go to other inappropriate behavior in Texas.
Armadillo.
No, this is humans.
That's
actually.
They give you
chupacabra fucking. There we go. No.
Oh my, that could be a porn film.
Mm-hmm. It probably is. I'll check it out. Yeah. We'll bring it to Crypticon.
Well, chupar is to suck. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's a weird name for that, though.
Well, chupacabra. It's gonna
sucks
suck
blood.
your blood. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You didn't know that, did I teach you? So
All right.
Oh my God.
We're learning things.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, a Texas real estate agent, and there's so many questions, Colleen, about this. First of all, the girl had
questions.
The woman, Kayla Selloff, which Selloff is a funny name for a real estate agent anyway, but once you hear the rest of the story, you might want to call it Get Off. And she's only 22 years old. And I was 23 when I started my real estate. I was in real estate for 10 years. And that's young to be doing that. Okay. So if she's 22 and she's closed a deal, that's impressive. What's not so much is getting arrested for having sex in the house that you sold with your boyfriend after closing.
I don't know. Yeah, not when somebody else has the keys. You have to still have the keys, right? Don't you still have to have permit?
She was probably there to take off the lockbox, and she wanted a little cock in her box. That's all I can think of.
That would be the last walkthrough thing. It's a little extra frisky. How did she get busted?
Well, the guy showed up. Or no. Somebody saw people in the house and they weren't sure if it looked just suspicious enough that they called cops, and the cops came and she said, "No, I'm the owner." And then the owner showed up, and then she tried to say that she was someone else other than who she was. And then there's the small problem, or rather the wrinkles of the marijuana pipe and the stash of pot that they had. So needless to say, she's probably not ready for primetime real estate yet if she's,
No, yeah, there's some, that's when, again, you need someone there that says, no.
Well, okay, so this person just needs that's not a special event. That's life.
That's life.
Yes. I don't know if there's a service to help you being an idiot.
Well, there's no shortage of need for it.
Yeah. Right, that's true. It's true. Someone to call before you make any decision.
Yes, you were not allowed to do anything.
Though in theory, she was a real go-getter if she's doing, closing deals at 22.
Stoned. Think about
it.
Think what you could do not stoned.
Right.
Oh, my God.
That is somewhat impressive now that you mention it. Lilo. This is a company that Fantasy Gifts doesn't do business with anymore.
No, it was a good product, but they raised the prices to the point where it didn't make a lot of sense for our customer base. There were a lot, and it was very. it's like, they did a lot of advertising. It's a reasonable product. It just hit a price point for us. And so it just stopped. It just stopped selling. And so we were fading it out of the stores already. And then they got into some legal battles with other people and other stuff going on. And we couldn't quite figure out what's going on. Are they going to sell themselves? Are they going to sell to distributors? I mean, it was just a lot of unknowns. We're like, you know what? It's not selling very well for us anymore. I mean, they'd already stopped selling for us. And we made the decision not to carry it anymore. And then they came out with a product, and we talked about this, with Charlie Sheen as the condom person, which was completely the opposite of all of their company marketing or purpose up until then. And so we couldn't figure that one out. And we're like, oh, thank God it's not selling for us anymore. We don't have really, right. I mean, it really confirmed that we had made the right decision to not carry it.
Yeah. And just to give a little more, that was a great recap of it.
Yeah.
And what, Colleen, you're talking about is the Hex condom, which is this whole new revolutionary way to build a condom, and that they're saying that it's easier and better from top to bottom, from easier to open. You could tell where it was, very stretchy, super thin, very strong, pleasingly transparent. A lot of people giving it rave reviews, but then they hired Charlie Sheen. Okay, fine. He's HIV positive. That's the angle that they took with it. But he's also made some pretty misogynistic rants.
Yeah.
So that was an issue. But the today's story is just an interesting update to this whole thing. They had the most amazing crowdfunding effort so far, I think, on record, between a couple of different sites, and they had they raised 3,246% of their original goal, $400,000 from Indiegogo for the Hex condom.
Oh, okay.
To fund the Hex condom. But so, yeah, in light of even,
well, it's probably before they announced Charlie Sheen as their spokesperson. They would have had to get the money to make it first before they could sell it, but with him.
Yeah. I mean, because I was under the impression that it was already on the market. Or not.
It was coming out.
Coming out. Okay.
So this was the background. But anyway, they got written up in Business Insider for this. And even somebody from Mashable tried to pierce one with a needle and couldn't.
I mean, it's great. It's good for them and good for everyone. I mean, a better condom's a better condom. And we're not going don't want to knock that for sure. It's just they should have maybe not chosen a woman beater to be the face of it. I mean, I get that he's a dick. So making him the face of condoms kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and I haven't heard anything about pricing on it yet, because there's
oh God, if it's priced like they're toys.
No, $19.90 for a 12-pack. That's what it said in my. Wait, let me just see. Yeah, $19.90 for a 12-pack.
That's approximately $6 to $8 more than condoms out there right now.
Is that about okay?
Yeah,
that probably makes sense.
Yeah,
then.
So it is pretty pricey. But if folks, I can see that possibly, going well depending on what's going on. Yeah, we've had a hard time with higher. I mean, one you can get. I mean, nobody really cares about buying condoms anymore, so people buy them at Walgreens. We carry them as a service or something. A few things in the store, but nothing like we used to carry in the 80s and 90s when AIDS was a much larger issue, and people were still embarrassed to buy them at Target or Walgreens or CVS. They're there because people expect them, not because it's a thing that we have. But I'm pretty sure that if we had 1995 box of condoms in the store, that they would sit there until they expired.
That's the problem with condoms, is that they have that expiration date. So you can't really. It's hard to take a gamble and then,
unless this gains so much notoriety that people come asking. That might, you don't know.
You'd be amazed the amount of times that people come asking for it, and we swear to God that we'll get it in. For example, I think the biggest one is dental dams. People ask, and we get them in, and we sell like one, and then the other like two gross of them that we have to order at the same time turn into brittle little pieces of latex before we can sell them. And we have been burned on this multiple times. I mean, I can't do it anymore. I mean,
so is that why you direct people to the website for stuff?
Yeah. Some, they can just move some stuff more on our partner website. There are just things because of the location. I mean, we're in we're here, we have, the multiple stores, but we still have fewer people in this location than, let's say, Lower Manhattan. I can only move so much merchandise.
Yeah.
And then it's going through there. And so that's the same thing with certain sorts of lubes. People really like it, but I can't carry everything there is. I just can't. So we try and, have a selection of different things. And we look, when things slow down, we're looking into this or that, or, maybe replacing stuff out. But you simply can't carry it all. You just can't do it.
The dental dams, that's always sad because I've been on the forefront, I think, at least once of like, no, we must have these. And then, and they're like, they're not going to sell, Megan. I'm like, everyone wants them. We have to do them. It's only fair. And then, they don't sell. And I imagine for you too, it feels
like I should have them.
Like
yes.
we want to support our, in particular, like lesbian or people who are into oral sex, we want to support their health and safety. But if they expire immediately, it's not going to do anyone any good.
What's a dental dam?
What it is, it is a large rectangular square piece of PVC or latex that you lay over genitals, and you perform cunnilingus or other oral sex over top of it, so you have a barrier. A lot of times folks will just cut open a condom and do the same thing.
Right. Yeah, I've even heard of like latex or saran wrap, but I imagine that's going to be a little bit porous. But to keep the mouth genitals to mouth transmission of diseases, a condom for a vagina, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not used for birth control, but just for, like I said, keeping bodily fluids separate. But we just, I've been in business we're going into our 37th year now, and we don't sell them.
And I know we've tried, there are at least 2 times since I've been with the company that we've tried, so.
Wow. Okay. Well, I just learned something new again. So this article, I know, Colleen, you were intrigued with best places for one-night stands. This really has to do specifically with vacation, not just if you live there, this is where everybody's fucking all the time. Apparently, it's particularly good on a tourist note.
I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be like in a car in the woods with a raccoon.
No,
these are actual cities.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to. I'm like top 10 hookup spots because it just 4 words there, and I'm like, where are we
bar
going?
bathroom.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. That just
survey
I
says.
do not understand. The amount of times that I've just wandered in. I'm older now, so I'm not in bars as much anymore. But when I used to walk into the bar, I'm like, who thinks this is a good idea to screw in the stall?
I'm sad. I've never seen bathroom fucking.
Oh, you don't really want to.
No, it's just so bad. I'm just like, I never rat anybody out. I don't care. I'm mostly like,
you just don't want to see it.
Especially if there's a line.
That's just rude.
Yeah.
That is very rude.
Yeah. It's just, if you're it just drives me nuts. I was always more flummoxed by it than ever appalled. Sorry.
No problem.
I'm just having an aside here.
Well, they came upon this list, or they came up with this list, I should say. It was a survey of 5,000 people conducted by Match.com. So the best U.S. vacation destinations for hooking up with a stranger. Number 1 is a tie. And they both start with San. We got Antonio and Francisco.
Oh. San Antonio, huh?
Yeah.
I was going to think Key West. there's not a lot of beaches down there. It's just really about drinking and partying. So I would assume that would be there. Mm-hmm. But then, So.
Florida makes an appearance later in the poll. Number 3 is Seattle. Huh. That was interesting.
Maybe because it's always raining. So
could be.
Want to stay in and have sex.
4, Phoenix. It's too hot.
Really?
Yeah, you have
too
to
hot.
I just think of like old people.
Well, old people do it too.
Arizona. Right, but are they having a lot of one-night stands?
Yeah, who wants to get married again if you're down there and you're moving on?
Well,
just move on.
Maybe somebody's getting the last one in before, you never know what tomorrow brings. 5 is Denver.
I think they would be too
that is
high.
So Rocky Mountain High.
Yeah, it is the Mile High. They're Mile High Stadium. You could, if you screw in Denver, you are part of the Mile High Club.
Right. I just think everyone would be too stoned to be like, hey, want to come home? No, I'm fine. I'm going to eat some chips.
6 is LA. No surprise.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it's 6 and not higher up.
7, Austin, Texas?
No, I can see that.
I see Austin more than San Antonio because Austin's kind of young and hipster.
Yeah, that's where the
Texas
that's where the music.
concerned.
Yeah, no, that's where the South by Southwest is and all that, and the food and the stuff and the.
Oh yeah. 8, Atlanta.
It is a huge growing community. I mean, it's just it's just the sprawl there and the people and the folks moving there and the businesses moving there. I can see. Yeah.
Here comes Florida at number 9, Miami.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's just. Yeah, it's party central down there. Don't they have huge, theme parties down there all the time and all that sort of stuff? I don't know. I'm old.
Number 10, Nashville.
Oh, that's another music place. It's like Austin. Everyone goes, there's a lot of bars. I'm surprised that Memphis isn't in there, but Nashville, but there's a lot of music down there. A lot of people go to just listen to that, hang out.
What's weird is I don't have a desire to go to a vacation at any one of those places.
Really? Have you ever been to San Francisco?
No.
It's pretty neat.
I have not. I went to California for a while and I just, I was very close. I was in like Moore Park, which I think is pretty close outside of there, but I was just like, it's so, I would never want to live there. Ever.
It's insane. I'm born and raised and I'll never go back to live. I mean, I've been very grumpy the few times I've had to go back for business.
No, I was just recently in Seattle, and they talk about the market and the ferries and all this sort of stuff. You know what I never realized? There are hills. That it's a very hilly. It's like it's as hilly as freaking San Francisco. Nobody tells you that.
Yeah, I would go to Seattle. I would go.
That was but I'm like, it never gets brought up. I mean, you read nobody mentions how freaking hilly it is there. I'm like, oh my God, just walking around. I was like, oh my God, another goddamn hill. Or you're driving, and you're up and down, you're braking, and you're riding your brakes. No, I expected this shit in San Francisco when I visited there and friends and other places, but I had no idea. Same damn stuff going on over there.
That's funny. This one's for you, Colleen. A sex shop owner in Tasmania won an appeal against a council decision to refuse their planning permit for the business. Ha ha!
Yay!
They flew in the face of opposition from churches and some residents. So, Ooh La La for Adults, which promotes itself as having, quote, a huge variety of the latest toys and more, giving our customers a healthy, exciting sex life. And what's interesting, I mean, they really did try to keep this business from getting there, but it was turned down in a higher court. They were trying to mess with them regarding the parking requirements. But there's in the link that Megan will post on the Great Northern Sexcast page is some of the social media commentary by the people who didn't want it to come. I'll just read you.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure I've probably heard most of this.
Oh, I know. Well, to have to explain such things to inquisitive children should not be acceptable in towns such as this, which is in recent times.
Oh, the pearl clutching. Oh, the children.
The children who are, wandering unattended into a sex shop? Maybe you should be watching them better.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
My fear is the admission of business of this nature will help destroy our family atmosphere.
Oh, God.
But they won.
Mm-hmm. They won. Yep. Of course they did.
I know. But
all these people
all the time,
are going to be in there buying shit. You watch.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even. I'm glad that I didn't see this at the time, but when one of our employees unfortunately was robbed, we got the guy. I was like, get you. There was a news article about it, and someone wrote on the comments, and this girl, she had to get down on the ground. The guy had real or not, a weapon, and she was like, well, that's what that girl gets for working at a sex shop. And I am so glad that I didn't read that at the time it was written. The employee told me about it like months and months and months later, because I would have lost my business a little bit.
That's so wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, no matter what you feel about a business, the idea that someone deserves to be robbed, deserves to be in danger,
or victimized in any way.
Right,
I mean, we were joking about it earlier about the raccoon being dressed too sexy and inviting rape, but it's like, don't laugh. I had to call the police because I had to get rid of a renter in my house, and they did about $3,000 worth of damage, and then they were driving by and being harassing. So I called the police, and they said, "What's going on?" And I kind of told them, and he said, "Well, that's what you get when you rent your property out." I go, "Are you shaming me? Landlord shaming me? Like, seriously?" I mean, it's like, that's just crap. It's like, nobody deserves to be victimized in any way.
No.
Or anything.
It drives me nuts. When we get, like I said, we were just talking about it earlier, the folks that tried to picket the Fridley store eons ago. There goes my voice again. And, to this day, I love those picketers and I love the bikers because the picketers got the attention of the bikers and the bikers brought in all the business, and it was spectacular.
That's so great.
Because the mall we're in, was always full, but it set back a little bit. And so then we got the press from it, and it was spectacular. But I mean, when the stuff that was said, I'm like, this is me and my family, and I'm selling like a vibrator here. I mean, I have not set up a meth lab in your neighborhood.
I don't understand what
is
think
and the whole, you got it. Oh my God, the children. And I'm like, you say, well, what do I tell my children? You say, well, though, you know how you have toys? Well, grown-ups have toys. Okay. And then you wander off. I mean, it's really that simple. And they go blink, blink, blink. And then my favorite, there was one of the signs said Ted Bundy shops here. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God.
And I just think about,
if Ted Bundy got laid more, maybe he wouldn't have killed people.
When I think about, I'm like, when I see some of the stuff that people say, I'm like, what goes on in their actual lives? I mean, I sell vibrators and personal toys and sexual health products and adult movies and lingerie and lube for a living. This is how and I can't come up with this stuff. My brain doesn't go there. And I have a really good fucking imagination. It's awesome. I don't watch scary movies or movies that have angst. And I don't even watch Game of Thrones or any of that shit because it's too violent. My brain takes what I see and it runs with it. Okay? But I can't come up with the stuff that these folks say about my stores. I'm like, what is going on in your life? I mean, I think, maybe folks should be investigated there because I'd be very worried about their children.
Yeah.
It's terrifying sometimes. I'm like, what the hell is going on with you? It's like all the folks that, complain about this or that and then get busted for buying sex or doing drugs or, stuff like that.
They're hypocrites. Okay. We need one more touch on sanctimony one more time. And we got to wrap with Pamela Anderson. Discussion stuff can all wait. But so there's a film festival in Scotland, and it's the Centre for Contemporary Arts in Glasgow, and it's funded by a government agency. And some of the politicians and campaigners right now are freaking out because they've got a porn star that's going to be doing an X-rated movie workshop. Like basically about porn films. And they're trying to take it and they're saying, why is this being funded by the government purse? This is pornography, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, this is an arts council that is created by the government. So now we're getting into what's art to whom. You know what I mean? And now we're going to have a censorship battle.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that that I'm not happy about, but that does not mean that they stop existing. And the idea that if they would have had a seminar on how to make your violence more realistic in your films, no one would have given a shit. So if you're talking, once again, the fact that, something to do with the human body or sexuality is even, is less than other things. It's insane. It really is. And it pops up, and for the most part, these folks usually lose, but minds, thousands of years of repression take a long, you don't just turn off that, you got to work through it.
I mean, we're still operating on a pretty caveman level, if you're running around one. I'm sorry. I was just trying really hard to go back to fucking raccoons.
Megan is not, it's going to haunt you all day.
No, it is. It is.
Meg, you weren't here last week when we noted that Pamela Anderson of Baywatch and Tommy Lee sex tape fame.
And red bathing suit poster land.
Yes. And, boobs and, whatever. She co-wrote an editorial and just really lashing out at porn. Basically saying porn is for losers. Mm-hmm. And this week, there's been uncovered a promo for a film that just actually premiered a couple months ago at the Buenos Aires International Independent Film Festival called The People Garden. And she strips butt naked and bends over in front of the camera.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, she's
that's
definitely,
art.
Definitely
here we go
hypocritical because she took in her money just fine from all those losers.
Yeah, she got paid for it. I suppose you need to, saying. We were talking about her. I mean, that might was going through there, or she got paid for the article and they're going through there. Don't
bite the hand that feeds you, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, why do you think you're... I mean, no offense. No. It's not like you're some amazing actress. Why do you think you're popular? Why do you think you're a name?
I find it really bizarre that, that she would go there, at one point, but still, I mean, who was the... There was the guy that was in 2.5 Men. The actor,
Charlie Sheen.
No, the guy that played
the
kid.
Oh yeah, I don't know his name.
Now he did at one point say, "I can't be a part of this anymore," and he left. I mean, he didn't do the show anymore.
Right.
Okay. He looked at it and said, "I can't do this," and he doesn't. Now, if Pam wants to say, "I can't do this anymore," but then, and then wants to talk, okay, I'll give her that. People are entitled to change their mind, but then leave. But to say that knowing...
This is out there this year.
That you've recently participated in versions of it, depending on, because some people don't, lump it all together. Some people have levels.
Right. Sears catalogs used to be porn back in the day, right?
And then Victoria's Secret catalog.
The hypocrisy there is... It's one thing that really probably drives me more insane than almost anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, we're out of time, and we've got some great discussion stuff that'll hold. It's nothing that's going to shake the earth, but the news was pretty interesting today. Anything else everybody needs to know sex-wise before next week?
No, Crypticon's coming up in the teens, and some folks will be out there. We've got
on the what day?
I called it the mid-teens the other day, but I think it's the 13, 14, 15?
14, 15, 16
of October.
Coming up so soon.
They're all busy making stuff, and we're pretty much getting ready for winter.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Okay.
Come get your sexy, spooky Halloween accessories. We actually have some really hot stockings and stuff, and a lot of them are 30% off. So it's screaming good deal.
Okay. Well, Miss Megan, good to have you back. All this stuff will be on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. Like us and tell a friend. Okay. She says okay. That's how we're going to sign off.